Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, just for full disclosure, we actually know the answers to some of the things we're about to talk about, which we will mention here. It is currently the morning of day 3.
Yeah, and I would like to put forward, I did not see any of these games because of my work, sadly.
Okay, that's a bad start to the video about recapping them. I saw them.
He has.
I saw the majority of the games.
I have not. However, I saw the major talking points and controversy.
And I actually watched till the end of that Canada-Germany game, which is practically becoming a sadist if you watch to the end. It's like you're watching a murder. But anyway, so the first game is Czech Republic. The Czech Republic lose 7-1 to Sweden. Sweden, who extends their win streak to 53. Now, it's funny because this game looked competitive for about one period. It was 1-1 after 1, and I forget if this came in the first period or the second period, but there's a moment where it looks like Czech Republic might have a goal to pull them ahead, to make it 2-1. This goal would be called back due to lack of evidence, and Sweden would go on to pretty much take control after that and just push through to get a 7-1. Now, here is my thoughts on the no-goal call. So, if anyone's wondering what the no-goal call in question, TSN actually posted it to their Instagram, so you can definitely check it out. This is a goal where the puck goes into the goalie's glove. The goalie's glove goes behind the post into the goal.
Well, part of it is. Isn't it? Or is the whole...
The end of his glove that catches the puck goes like this.
Okay.
Now, it's no goal due to lack of evidence. Now, here's my thoughts. This is the only analogy that I could actually think of, and I posted about it at the time. What did I say here? I said this is only comparable to having two people in a room. You leave and come back, and one's dead, but no matter what, there's no evidence to incriminate the other. We all know it has to be in the net, but we can't see it there because gloves, unfortunately, don't come in see-through.
Yeah,
we know it's in, but we can't prove it's in.
Yeah,
I can give you logical explanation as to why I think it's in the net, and I will.
But yeah, the rule is that it has to be conclusive evidence that you can clearly see the puck has crossed the line. Because with something like that, the odds of that puck being in the net are like very, very high. Because there's always that slim chance that there's like that 1 millimeter that's still on the line because it's got to fully cross, and with that you can't see enough to make a call.
So here's why I think this is just a couple of the obvious, other than the eye test where you would think right off the bat. So first off, the Swedish goalie's the webbing in his glove is blue. That is smart. Because if it was yellow, it would pick out a lot more. Actually, that's why I've never liked having white gloves. Actually, all my goalie gloves have black webs on them because it's very harder to see where the puck is. Now, the thing is with the goalie glove, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Also, too, if you're holding your glove out like this, it's a white glove. It's not nice. But anyway, there are some things that make sure you can tell it's in the net. One, it's the motion. So, he shoots the puck. His glove is here, hits the glove. His glove goes back. Now, the point where it moves backwards is completely in the net, and that's the end of the webbing of his glove. So, just thinking of physics here, that has to be in the net, because there's no way that your glove goes like this if it's not in this section of the glove. If it hits here, he'll just go like that. Or it'll just go like this, and it'll turn a little, but it won't roll.
Yeah.
Or it'll just hit it and just go in. It's one of those things where it's like, you know what it actually reminds me of? It reminds me of a play, about in the 2017-18 playoffs, Pittsburgh versus Washington. Pittsburgh probably should have got a goal here, but what happens is that he shoots the puck, and it kind of wraps around Braden Holtby's pad, and it's in the net kind of, but Holtby puts his glove to cover it from sight around it and then pulls it like this. But you couldn't tell where the puck was in his pad. no matter how hard you looked at it.
I think I remember this.
Yes, because this was like game 2 or whatever. This was the year that Washington wins against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So, if whatever game you're checking, it wasn't game 6, you have limited options to find this clip. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I think the puck is in, but I've had moments like that as a goalie where I thought I got scored on, but I'm not going to tell anyone that.
Well, of course not.
That's not happening. And does this impact the game? Maybe. Maybe it delays the inevitable. Yeah. But the way that Czech Republic...
although you did say that if they got this goal, it would be 2-1 them.
But the way they collapsed from there, so they collapsed hard. Like, they gave up shorthanded goals, power play goals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the main thing I'll talk about that game. Because, honestly, there are quick highlight videos for all this stuff. Yep. You've seen it. We're not going to go into that. Next game to talk about is how Canada beats Germany 16-2.
Beats is putting it.
There are two things to talk about this game. One is the hit. Braden Schneider, I believe is his name, got ejected for a 5 minute and a game for a headshot in the first period.
Yeah.
And and as of recording, we know that he had a hearing and he got suspended for 1 game.
Yeah.
And I said that, and I totally back that up, honestly, because the thing is this play actually is a lot like a suicide pass play, where it's coming out, the guy's dumping it, kind of chip off the board out, like, you see it in every breakout that you did as a little kid. You do defense, winger, center,
guy just touches the puck and then he gets killed. Yeah. And you know what I see? It's funny, because I see the same thing with this hit is the same thing I see with the other hit that we're gonna talk about.
It's funny.
But listen, but you know what it is? The thing is that both of these players, the way they're lined up for a good hit. The problem is that what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to hit shoulder to chest, then drive forward and up to lift them off the ice. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But the problem is that in both these hits, they started going up way too early.
Oh, well, it's funny.
And then if you look, he drives straight up, shoulders straight to the head.
Yeah.
Head is the first point of contact.
Okay, so yes, I agree with that. I will say this, though. The thing is, the problem with this play is that it actually highlights why we're having this conversation a lot more time and time again about this suspensions like this. And here's why. This hit is not made looking at the puck. And I understand the argument that you don't want to become puck-focused, otherwise that could get you killed on the ice. Yeah, that's totally happens. That happens to him. The difference is, though, is that I think Schneider has to be aware of where the puck is here. Because I believe he's a defenseman.
I think so, yeah.
I think so. Because from the play that I'm looking at here, we've got it looped right now, running for us. It looks like a defenseman making a pinch on a high slot.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is that if you're making that pinch, you are not pinching just for the player. You're pinching to get the puck. But if you don't remember that is your job, you are just going to make a play on the player. And you can't even make the argument he's going for the puck because the puck goes on it to his right and he steps left. Yeah, so he has to get, and this is the right call.
So the problem, the problem I see with this now, here, let me just see it one more time just to confirm what I was thinking. Oh, it's not working.
Yep, and you messed it up.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the problem here is that at least when the defenseman is going down to make their pinch, if they want to make a hit like that, that's fine in terms of hitting the player. But the thing is that you have to make sure that the forward stick is in the trajectory of where the puck is going.
Yeah.
Because if he just touches it with his stick and then you go and run him over, that's fine. That's totally clean.
Yeah, it's frowned upon sometimes, but it's clean.
But you can't blame him for making. You can't if that puck goes to him and he makes a shoulder check straight to like a hit straight to the chest, so it's not in the head, and the puck is going to that guy's stick. You cannot give him anything for absolutely killing that guy because he kills that guy, and it's his defenseman's fault.
Yeah.
It totally is.
Yeah, no, I see that. I will say also too, it doesn't help that Holloway's happens to be skating backwards and sandwiches the guy right after he gets hit. But honestly, that's the last we'll talk about.
And I do think is that he's got to be a little bit careful there. Is that forward has his head straight down.
So this is the other thing we're going to talk about the Canada game, because honestly, I'm not going through all 16 goals. I'll just say this: Cousins looks NHL ready, so Buffalo, be happy. You're getting some more offense. to bolster your lineup here, hopefully. So this was a weird one. Canada gets a goal scored for them with no time left on the clock. And when I say no time left on the clock, I don't mean like 0.0. It was 0.0. Now, here's the problem, and we know the facts now because they were talking about this actually while we were going through. The IIHF, who runs the World Junior Championship, has a different clock from the ones that the broadcast had and from the ones that they do for NHL. And they actually mentioned a situation like this happening with Drew Doughty where it was the same thing happened. But the problem is that the IIHF's clock was behind by 0.02 is what I'm hearing. Or 0.2, actually. 0.2
their clock would be the official clock, so the TSN one was ahead.
Yeah, but no. But that's, no. But they made the point of saying, we don't think our clock is wrong. We think their clock is wrong.
So we think that IIHF...
Like, I think IIHF... And I honestly agree with them on that statement, because and also, I heard a couple people saying, yeah, but the horn goes after. And I'm like, yes, of course the horn goes after, because that's just logic.
Well, the
horn is literally the speed of sound. Literally the speed of sound. You're arguing sound versus...
light.
Right, you're right. Like you
sight.
Can't even just pretend that.
The horn is the most irrelevant form of...
Which is sad, because in younger ages, we sometimes have to mention on the horn. If we don't pay attention with how much time is left. When I'm repping a game, you sometimes have to pay attention to the clock going right at the time, because it's close. It's always close. But yeah, no, this goal probably shouldn't have counted, and I think it hurts more that the fact that this goal ended up being irrelevant to the point where we really didn't even need this goal. Like, this is the goal to put Canada up 4-1, and they would go on to win 16-2. And honestly, I felt horrible for the Germans. Also, too, TSN, do not show me close-ups of the German players when Canada is up 16-2.
Yeah.
That's a bit wrong. I felt uncomfortable looking at that conversation, because this isn't a team...
That's disrespectful.
Well, it's not disrespectful. It's just oblivious. It's just oblivious.
Well,
I don't want to say anyone's doing anything in bad taste, because honestly, I don't know their motives. I'm just saying, don't do that. TSN, you've heard me now. You've heard me now.
120 subscribers.
Yeah, 123 subscribers.
Oh, 23 now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at us go. But don't show me that. This goes beyond like a team choking and showing us their defeated looks.
To be fair,
I felt bad for Stutzel. Stutzel had a fine game, honestly.
And especially since, to be fair, these guys, they're still kind of kids.
Okay, so here's the problem.
We're talking for example, on Team Finland, they have a player who's 16. He's turning 17 in 2 days. Mm. Yeah, on that team.
So here's another thing, too. Stutzel looked great, but he looked frustrated. I don't blame him. The camera pans over to his thing, and this is another consequence of going to a team that's losing 62. Camera cuts over. I can read lips a decent extent, and I knew right away. I'm like, oh, swear, talking to the boys. Okay, thank you, and immediately cuts away, and I'm like, yep. You know what? You ask a stupid question, you get a stupid answer. What did you expect you would see? And honestly, that's the last we'll talk about it. Team Canada looks fine. I think this might hinder Team Canada in the future, though, because if Team Canada keeps having to play against teams that are so weak
I'm worried about that.
I'm worried we're falling into this trap, because literally as the schedule goes, it gets better.
One point I will say is that I do think it is good that they're playing Finland last.
Yeah, it's a good primer.
Just to at least get them somewhat prepared for playoffs, even though most likely their first opponent in the playoffs would be Austria.
Yeah. So. No, it wouldn't. Austria wouldn't make it.
So it'd be, Czech Republic, probably? If we're guessing?
Probably Czech Republic?
Czech Republic? Okay.
Probably. So this will get us to the last game, where the USA pretty much suffocated the Austrians. They beat them 11-0. Trevor Zegers had a great game.
And we were talking about...
And the play that I want to talk about is the hit by Austrian forward Philipp Wilmer.
Now, first question. Has there been anything that's happened?
There has not. I'll refresh NHL discussion, because NHL discussion will tell us first. No, there's been no comment. Now, I'm going to say what I think here. Now, it's funny. I just want to first get out of the way why I think so low suspensions on hits like this. So here's some factors you have to remember that are not just about the hit. Okay. One, you have to remember that these are young. These are not fully fledged like NHL ready players. Like they haven't actually like. Yes, they've been playing hockey probably for most of their life, but you have to give leeway to age because yes, they've been playing for so long, but there's different levels of experience you get. For example, minor hockey will miss a lot of hits.
Yes,
they do. And that's why actually it's funny. Like in minor hockey, it's so referee specific. I say that as an official myself. I know that my standards of calling penalties are different than my other officials. It's funny because I actually will ref sometimes with those refs, and I'll hear an earful, and I'm just like, and I'll look at him, and I'm like, I literally once turned to a coach, and I'm like, did I call that penalty? No. I'm like, why are you talking to me? Like, there's nothing I can do here, but sir.
Yeah, well, you also gotta understand that when that coach looks at you, he just sees stripes.
I know.
He sees stripes.
I'm like, where's the orange one?
Stripes.
It's not here. But also too, this tournament is short, so suspending a player for a long term is a death wish. You immediately take him out of the tournament, and every game matters. And so there's probably an incentive not to suspend people for long term. That's why Schneider got 1 game. If this was like a 16, if this was like a round of like 16 games, like you play every team twice, he would be out for 3 games.
Here's my question: this hit happens in the NHL. What happens?
I'd say if it's his first offense, he gets a fine, minimal fine because it's his first offense. He gets a fine and he's suspended for 2 games. If he's a repeat offender, he gets at least 4 to 5 games and a middle to high fine. Depends on how heavily the repeat offender says. Because honestly, it becomes more.
And it's funny. I look at
so this hit. I'm just gonna explain it.
Well, here, can I say something about it?
Sure. It looks
just
bad.
Comparing it to the other hit, you can tell that it's just him doing his thing early. See, you see his arm is in, but his arm comes out from his body because what you want to do is when you make contact to separate you from the player, you then push. That's why you go up, you push and whatnot. You see him start to push out with his arm before he makes contact.
Well, you know why he does that? Because the American kind of cuts. But you see, look how fast that is. So here's the problem with with this hit. This hit is, if I'm gonna guess here, based on the trajectory of this, it looks like Wilmer just got off the bench, doesn't it? Because he skates right across the middle of the ice. And the problem with this hit is that it's 2 people going like this. It's like a car crash. It's a bad hit. It's a bad hit.
Yeah.
But it's not. But it's also so bad because it's literally like running into a wall type thing. Like because he's going this way and he's going this way. It causes a lot of impact there. It isn't like skating back like this and pushing the guy off the puck. That doesn't do a lot of damage. It sucks sometimes.
Because he's getting hit in the exact
opposite
opposite
change of direction is doing the majority of the damage. It's that violent push this way.
He's skating hard up the ice, and he is then stopping dead.
Yes. And the way he hits him is just bad. His body goes through the hit completely. So he's putting all his weight into that hit, and his shoulder hits him in the head. And I don't know.
I would like to say if he makes that hit, but he's hitting shoulder down, that's fine.
Yes, but yeah. But I will say this.
But just because you did mention like, he puts everything into that hit. Mm-hmm. Well, if he puts everything into that hit and it's clean, then who cares?
I'll say this.
Just want to feel it's clear.
I'm just gonna I understand the frustration of this game for Austria. I understand the frustration of this entire tournament for Austria. Austria is honestly at risk of not scoring a goal this tournament. I'm going to be blunt. Austria has Marco Rossi, and that's it.
How bad was the offense?
They got at one point it was like 6-0, I think, and they had 4 shots to 36.
Yeah.
It's bad. I feel bad for the Austrians, and I understand the headspace of frustration because we've all had those games where we had played teams that we honestly felt like we should not have been playing against us.
What the hell's the point in this game?
Yes, so I understand that. I will say, though, he's probably going to get suspended for a game. And you'll probably learn from that, and that'll probably be okay. So honestly, that's all I want to talk about this, mostly. Like, we're not going to delve into all the goals, because honestly, every game was lopsided, and you can just watch the highlights.
Stay tuned for later today, as we have all of today's games.
Yes, we're going to do all the same games tonight.
I just finished watching.
I watched a bit of it, yeah.
The Finland versus Switzerland game.
Yeah.
You said you watched a bit of it.
Yeah,
and
I did.
What's the next game?
Next game is Canada versus Slovakia.
And then what else?
Czech Republic versus Russia.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, so those should be fun. And then also, for anyone wondering, yes, we are working on our Battlefront 2 review will come up before our Rebels review. Because there's just so much stuff. We got a bunch of new games. So we're trying to delegate time properly.
Yeah, and then eventually we're going to have to talk about Squadrons.
Squadrons, yes.
Eventually, it'll probably be a while for that.
And, of course, we have a No One Hockey podcast as well. So there's a lot of content coming. So you can just pick and choose what you like. But anyway, I think that'll be all. So, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Comment down below what your thoughts were on the plays that we actually discussed today, because we would love to hear an outsider opinion on them. As well as make sure you've already subscribed, share this video around, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at No One Hockey Podcast. And we will make sure to see you next time. So thanks for watching.